Here we go.
Oh, we're streaming. Are we actually streaming live?
Yeah.
Oh, that was quick. I thought it was going to go through a whole bunch of little buttons and all that kind of stuff that happens.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Let me just.
okay.
Right. Okay. So.
I'm going to go away for a second.
All right. Okay. Right. So for my audio, I will be starting now. Open up your mind to the way, the conscious way, the way of conscious mindfulness. Hey, Sifu Boggy here. Sifu means guide, muse, somebody who points you along the way, who guides you on your path. Boggy means the balancer between the chaos and the calmness. And for the last 39 years, I have been studying the Taoist arts. The Tao means the way, the path, the balance. And I have been studying many arts like Tai Chi, Qigong, Tic Ta, Tui Na, Chinese massage, acupressure, reflexology, 5-element healing, 5-element food, cooking, Taoist philosophies, and many, many other techniques. And the whole point of it all is to help balance your very own personal way, path, or Tao. And through the years, I have helped many students, especially ones with chronic pain, fibromyalgia, ME, MS, stress and anxiety, but I've also helped Reiki healers, healing practitioners, coaches. I've helped them ensure to supercharge themselves and ensure they never burn out. So that's who I am and what I do. What's this show all about? Well, this show is the way of conscious mindfulness, a regular podcast show discussing spirituality and science, balancing it with health and well-being and mind, body, and spirit with a Taoist twist. What does the Tao mean again? The Tao means the way, the path, the balance. Now, surprise, surprise, this isn't a normal talk show. Anything with me in it most definitely isn't normal. Each week we either have a subject or a guest, and today we have a beautiful guest I've had on the show before, and we've done some stuff before, and our goal, our aim is to have an open discussion to find new techniques, new skills, new ways to balance our very own personal way, path, or Tao. So that's that all out of the way. So let's bring her on, the wonderful, the awesome, the absolutely amazing, as I kick the camera stand and the camera shakes, for those in the audio world. Robin, Nicole, how are you doing?
Hello, Seafood Buggy. I haven't seen you in a very long time.
I love the way you say seafood boggy. You sound almost Yoderish.
I have lost my any Irish accent that I might even have had before, because I've been spending this last year I haven't been seeing anybody that lives here in Ireland, and I've been connecting with my group of people in America. They're all Americans, and so I'd be talking with my co-host Bonnie Bird, that she co-hosts with me on my New Earth Ascending Consciousness group thing, and talk to Bonnie almost every day. And now I'm American sounding now.
So, well, hopefully you can still hear me, because I'm visually I may have disappeared, but for audio, I should still be there. So I'll ask that question. I've asked this question before. So, Robin, this is the way of Robin Nicole. So, what is your way? What is your personal Tao?
Well, my way changes all the time, but it always comes back to, I have this belief that every single one of us has something special, something unique. Each one of us has it. We all have a gift. And my belief is that even like that your main goal in life, like my main goal in life, is to go inside your heart and find out whatever makes your heart sing, and then you go do it. And then when you shine your light out to the world, if you do it and you keep shining your light out there, eventually the whole world shines with you. And so I'm the shine your light lady.
That's an awesome thing. And what I mean, what different things do you guys do? You know, in the shine your light
Well, the
network.
Shine Your Light Network, see, everything has kind of changed. The Shine Your Light Network started out with me, and I started just doing what I was shown to do, you know, by my guides. And I started that in 2019. And I started doing the Shine Your Light Network. And it was just kind of me going out there, and I opened up a Facebook group, and I was just being guided to find tribe members, you know, like people that like build a community of people that were waking up. And so I just started just doing my thing, and I go on and I do video blogs on the Shine Your Light Network. And for a while, I did a lot of interviews where I was interviewing people who are out there also shining their light. And then last August, everything changed. I woke up and I was told, okay, now you're supposed to take this to a different level, and the next level of what was being shown to me. And you now have to give your group up to the people. And so it wasn't like I was an admin in it, but it wasn't like I had to give it up. So they showed me I needed to get some more people that were helping me. We have more people that are admins in there, but we call ourselves Unity hosts, even though the word admin is there. And what we do is we have formed a platform that helps people kind of get tools, like spiritual tools along the ascension path. And we bring on almost like every week we try to bring on people, and we have these things called unity circles. And in the unity circles, we'll bring on a host or a guest, and they basically share ascension tools, whatever it is that's their gift, their special gift that they do, and they share it out to the world in these circles. And we stream them live every week. And we just been doing that. That's what we do there. I have like a little video. If you have, do you have screen shared? Will I show everybody like the little 1-minute video that talks about the new Earth ascending consciousness?
Maybe. Well, I know that once I did. Well, when I can re-edit it for. Let me just give me a second to come back to the main screen. I will have a look. I don't, because I'm on the phone. I'm not entirely sure. But so just while I'm looking, carry on for a second.
Okay. Because I know how to screen share, and I've got it here. If you want me to, I can put these things up. But it's weird. I'm talking to like not your face. So there we go. So yeah, I can talk better now because I was like, I'm all by myself. So that's kind of like what we've been doing. And then I've also been involved in this new kind of what do we want to call it? It's a new spiritual app. It's there for the world to start using. And I met up with this man. His name is David Starr, and he lives in Canada. And he was divinely led. He woke up. He had a dream that it was a 3-part dream. He woke up in the middle of the dream and then went back, and like he had this dream, and he was shown exactly what he was meant to do. And then he took his all of his savings and he went out last year and he developed this app. It's called Divine Ray. And it's sort of like TikTok, but it's TikTok for divinity. And inside the app, you can like there's a place for people that are healers and stuff. So the whole goal is to put your videos up so people can get your essence, your divine wisdom, this kind of thing going on. It's all about divine wisdom, right? And then when people kind of like watch you or they get to know you, if you're a creator and you're a healer or you like do sessions or whatever, there's a little store inside of there, and people can schedule to do private sessions with you and stuff like that inside the app. There's a store, there's a place for you to like promote your products. Like I put all my artwork, all my stuff that I do is up there. And also they have a place for you to put activations, meditations, and classes. So basically you can sell your classes if you can have a link. So like I put mine on my YouTube channel, and I put them in as unlisted, and then I link them there. And you can, like, I have classes on like crystal gazing and healing chambers, and I'm getting ready to do some more stuff about detachment, because that's what's coming through at the moment, about learning how to detach and not attach to things. So I'll tell you about that. But so anyways, that's it's called the Divine Ray, and it's just kind of in the beta testing at the moment. David's trying to get as many healers and as many people that have something there. He's trying to get the base before he markets it, because after, when he starts marketing, then people will be able to come in there and they'll be able to, like, it's all going to be high vibrational. When people come in, there's not going to be any of that junk that's going on in other places, and people will just get uplifted, and they'll be being filled with light, and people will be awakening, and then they'll have the opportunity to take advantage of all of these healers and all of these people that are out there doing stuff to help people raise their vibration. So that's what I've really been working a lot on.
Cool. Okay, right. Have a quick look. I made you co-host. Has it given you the ability to share?
Is it what?
I made you co-host. Has it given you the ability to share?
Oh yeah, I think I went and shared. I went over to the YouTube channel and I shared out to the
No, you said about the video.
Oh, my video. Oh yeah, I wanted to. I have a little video about the app, and I have one about the New Earth group, and I'd like to share that out before I start talking. That way I don't forget.
I've just I said you've got co-host.
Let me find it. Okay, so I have to share the computer and optimize my screen, right? And then it doesn't give me the blue. Do I have to pick something? Maybe I have to pick something. If I pick whiteboard, I'll pick this. I'll pick that. Okay. Can you see this, Boggy?
I can now.
Okay, so I just want to make
sure.
those
in audio world, for those of the audio version, we are just having, we're just going through.
Let's see. Tell me if you can hear this.
But it could just be me.
Can you hear it?
Did you click the button at the bottom of the screen that says share audio?
I did. There's like a little blue button. I put the share audio and the other one.
Right.
Could it be that my volume isn't loud enough?
It shouldn't make any difference if you're sharing it on if you press that share audio, it should be coming through on the computer itself. But we'll just go for it.
We'll just go for it. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning of this so that I can. So this is the app. Are you hearing the stories of the many negative social media apps out there in the world today? If you are feeling this way, know you are not alone. Many have been searching for new places to fill the space inside of them that wants to connect.
Did you actually double click on the thing, because it's not come up on the screen?
It's not.
All I've got on the screen is your files. I can see your files.
Okay,
Did you actually
let me go back.
click it? you have to share the actual where on that share screen you actually have to share that actual file. So you double click on that file and then go back to the share screen and you'll find it on there.
Are you seeing anything? Because I'm.
Now all I can see is the files.
I don't know why. Okay, hold on. Let me. So I can't see you.
Go back to the shared screen. So that shared screen thing, and it should, if you've clicked that file, so it's that
Wait a
file is
minute,
now
I'm trying to
open,
back the Zoom
that
because I'm
video
not.
is open, you should see
Okay,
it
I'm
on the
gonna.
shared screen.
It says your shared screening is paused. Okay, I'm gonna stop it for a second. Okay. Maybe I picked the wrong thing.
No, if you go back to, so you go onto the shared screen, and it should give you little boxes, little options of the stuff that you
Yeah,
have
it
to
says
actually.
share computer sound, and then it says optimize screen sharing for your video clip. And I clicked on both of them.
Yes, but the video itself had to be active, so it had to be loaded and active, and then
Do
you
I have to
share
go
it.
activate the video first?
Yes,
Oh,
but you have already. You've already done that because you heard it in the background. But you didn't do it when you did share screen. You shared the screen of your files.
Oh, okay. Let me go back and see if I can find that one.
Right. Okay.
Let me. Okay, I'm gonna go out of
a
share.
long time on this, so because we are live.
It doesn't really matter at the end. I can actually. I don't know how to get out of here now because I can't see you.
Or we start again. You figure out how to do it, and then we start again.
Okay. Do I have to open up the file in my background before I go to share screen? Is that what I have to do? Okay. So let me go onto my computer. I'm going to open up the file. No, it just goes and it starts playing. I don't know why it does that.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to restart this. I'm going to stop this live stream and restart it because there's a lot of this. It's not great listening or watching, so we'll start.
Sorry, guys. Wait a minute now. It's going now. It's not showing up, so I'm not going. Let's just not worry about it. Let's just go on instead of stopping. I don't want to stop. Do you want to stop?
Well, we've wasted.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's not a problem. Okay. Well, anyway, so what if we're going to carry on? Then we'll just carry on. So sorry, guys.
Let's just carry on instead of trying to start all over.
But we'll continue without the videos.
Yeah. So basically, there's an app out there that you can use that I've been working on with.
If you send me the videos, I can actually add them afterwards. That's what I said.
Okay, so, I'll do that. And so that's how life has changed for me. Everything changed last year. Everything changed. Like, I think what started was like in 2020 on New Year's Day, everything started falling away that in our life, in my life. It wasn't just like happening out in the world. It was happening in our house. Everything that no longer served us left. And it started on New Year's Day on 2020 when the refrigerator stopped working. and then everything left. Every single appliance last year we had to replace, all the way up until our fireplace. Our fireplace started leaking water, and the back boiler and stuff, and everything kept coming out. We had to replace the fireplace. We had to replace every single thing. Our business, we lost our business. Everything was taken away. Everything was gone. They closed the swimming pool, and I wasn't able to swim. So everything that I did to be able to cope with life, everything left. And I had to find a whole new way of like existing and how to like even my friends, even all the people that I was aligned to, anything that I was attached to in a way that wasn't good for me, left. And I had to learn, I learned the art of detachment last year. And now that I've learned the art of attachment, things are starting to come back in my life, and the pool is open now. But I had to learn how to cope without that. I had to learn to cope without all of the things that I thought I needed to cope with. So everything fell away. And it's like the tower fell down.
Yeah.
Everything's gone. And I'm hoping that now everything will is starting to come back up again. And it's like I have a whole new life going on. I'm doing things that I never would have thought I would be doing. Today I did something crazy, but to see Boggy. Something happened to me in the swimming pool today.
Right,
Do you
go for
remember
it.
what happened to me?
Go on.
Una catalana. I started doing light language. I started doing light language with my water dragon inside. I've never done light language.
Right.
And it hasn't shut up since this happened. I called all my friends. I'm like, listen to what's going on. I'm in the swimming pool. Una catalana canta tulata and all this stuff going on. I'm like, what is happening to me? And so every day something new happens. I I'm writing a book, and I don't know as if it's going to be published in the normal type of way that a person would publish a book, because they're also showing me every time I write the book that is coming through is a channeled book that's coming through from my aspect as Alana. It started out as from my aspect. Her name is Alana. She's Lemurian star mother, and she's one of my aspects. And so I started bringing in, and I started channeling a book, and it was all about Lemuria, and all this stuff was coming through. And then they started, all the stuff was coming through about healing chambers, and my crystal gazing was getting like stronger. And the next thing you know, they're everything I'm writing, they're saying this will be in a book eventually, but they want me to teach it at like the world needs it now. And so now I'm forming like these like modules. They're like, it's almost like these like online modules. And like I have one, it's like it's for the crystal gazing, tell people like how to crystal gaze. And then I have another one about how to connect to your healing chamber. And like every day something new happens. They have me, there's a whole thing, I'm going to be doing a whole module on mind, body, and soul alchemy. And there's just so many different chapters. The art of detachment is part of it. And all kinds of stuff is just coming through every single day. And I never know what my day is going to be like. I'm also working on a children's book through the art, like the portals that I created there, me and Tim created there a couple years back. Now there's a whole like children's book coming through with it. And it's just like every day something's new. And then I had these photos that I take when I was teaching my crystal gazing classes, and of the crystal gazing, and now they're turning into an oracle deck. So like every day like something new is happening, and I just don't know. I'm just letting it happen.
Mhm.
Whatever like comes through, and we'll see what happens. Like life is good. I don't have a plan. We don't live on the 3D timeline anymore. In fact, anything that has to be done on the 3D timeline, I have alarms that reminds me of like I'll have a alarm, like if I have an appointment to go to, I'll have an alarm that tells me the night before, and then another one that reminds me an hour before, and then another one that reminds me like 15 minutes before it happens, because I'll just forget it. Like and I'll burn, like I burn food because I forget that I put it into the oven, and this is just like my life now. Yeah, so and there's no rhyme or reason for anything, and I just going with the flow, not worrying about like, and like also like with this detachment thing, and learning how to not be attached to people. That was a big thing for me last year, and a big thing for me to learn, not to be attached to anything, because it's not healthy. Um, and so I now, I, I would get upset when people would leave, and I would think, what did I do to like upset them, or like, and I would go crazy, I would cry, and I'd be like, kind of like, what did I do to like make them not want me or whatever. And I'm learned now, like, I'm just happy if they're there, and if they're not there, then that's fine too, and that's just the way I go now.
Yeah, yeah, and well, it's a big high ascension thing, is a lot of when you look a lot of the sages and gurus, especially in Buddhism, Tibet Buddhism, Taoism, yeah, non-detachment is a big thing, and it doesn't mean not caring. It just means about detaching from the outcome in a way that over focusing on it, over caring too much to a point where it brings you into paranoia or sadness or anger or frustration. Is that we live in a world? Funny enough, I did a show this morning, and with a similar sort of topic, and it's this whole thing of with the non-attachment is that the world is a bit of an illusion, and we've got programmed to focus on this and that and the other, and grasping onto things, and it's that whole thing of if you were to die tomorrow, you can't take anything with you as such.
Yeah.
It's about it's about what's important, what those memories are more important, and it's the enjoying living in that moment and finding the joy of what you have right now, and not over focusing about the future or the past.
Mm-hmm.
So detachment is it's a very powerful spiritual tool that a lot of people find very hard, because firstly it's about detachment of physical stuff, which a lot of certain religions and a lot of philosophies talk about. The low level is physical attachment, so on items, and but then it goes to emotional detachment, and eventually it's spiritual detachment, or character detachment, as in
Exactly.
no
That was
longer.
another thing. Not attaching to, so like I was telling you that I've been channeling through a book, and about through my aspect of Alana, but not attaching to her, not attaching to that aspect, um, and thinking that it's the all of everything. Do you know what I mean? You have to be careful. And I notice a lot of people, they be changing their names to like what they're channeling or something coming through, and that's your aspect in another place and time, and you're who you are here. And I've been learning a lot about that as well. And it's not easy, I can tell you. Like last year, like when this first happened, when the business started, when we couldn't run our business, um it, at first I was fine with it. I was like, oh, it'll be a couple of months, and I'll just get some relaxed time, and I'll enjoy myself, and I'll just delve into like my creativity and do things I couldn't do because I was always having to teach the classes and do all the stuff in the studio that needed to be done, and trying to keep all the customers happy and all that kind of stuff. And then a few months went by, and I think it was like, it must have been in like September, when I realized that, wait a minute, this isn't coming back. And the studio had, little by little through the summer last year, it started turning into a storage facility. And it got to a point, because we live in a house where, I think you remember, my mother-in-law lives upstairs. Well, her daughter moved home, and she has children, and they just have no room up there, right? And so little by little, it became like the studio became a storage facility / playroom, and it was no longer the studio. And I walked in there one day after going for a walk, and I was very, very down. And standing in there, looking around the room, and like the walls had all the artwork, everything was still kind of up there, but it was just filled with junk. And I just lost it. I lost it. And I started throwing sculptures around the room and smashing them. I was so sad. I was like, why? Why did you take this away? Everything that we worked for, and it's gone, and it's not coming back. And I was just so upset, threw everything. And I sat there and I cried. That was my pity party, for the longest time. And then I just put on my music, the songs that lift me up, like the hero song, and that song about the power of a dream. And before I walked out of there, I was singing it, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna have to find a new dream, a new life, a new dream. And it was scary. But we did it. We did it. Now I'm all crying. I wasn't expecting to cry today, Boggy. You always make me cry.
I know. It's the Boggy effect, I'm always bringing one of my mates used to say, Boggy, you're like an onion. You always make people cry, and they don't know why. They
What is it about you? What you doing to me? So anyway, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to detach. We had to literally detach from doing it that way. Even though we work so hard, you know how hard we work, Bugs, to get it the way that it was. And then with the stroke and everything, and even if the lockdown never happened, I wouldn't have been able to keep carrying on like that after Tim had the stroke. And I was trying to hold it all together, but I couldn't. So everything fell away. Everything's gone. But now we just got done painting, and we painted the house, we painted the studio. The studio's been cleaned out, and it's revamped for a new kind of way. So we're not going to go going back the way that we did before. And we don't want to. I've learned that I don't want to teach classes to kids and I don't want to be spending all my time trying to make people happy and coming up with projects just to keep people coming back. I don't want to do that anymore. And so we're just going to just do the baby's hands and feet and see what happens. I don't know. I might be turning it into some kind of place where people can meet and meditate and learn how to do, we could do all kinds of circles inside of there if people in our local area want to come. But at the moment, it's just ready to just do whatever happens. And the kiln is almost on its way out too. So the kiln is probably, I'm not going to be able to fire anything pretty soon. It's getting to that stage. So I'm just thinking, that's just the way it is. But I'm happy because what's coming in is all the things that I've always wanted to do. I got my Reiki 1 and 2. I've done that. I've got all that going on. I've got certification going. And so now I can do more of my healing work and more of the things that I truly came here. This is what I really came here to do. And I'm really excited about the new chapter and what's going to be unfolding.
Cool. Awesome.
So I don't know what else to say.
Well, no, that's good but it's that whole thing again. It's really sort of similar to the show, the show this morning, or for on the audio for those on the audio podcast. Last week's show, last Monday's show. We talked with Natalie Musafia. And it's that whole thing of just learning a different way of doing, being it. it's very empowering to let stuff go and just literally going, going with the flow and being far more intuitive and just and letting go of the whole rules and the whole way of doing. You have to do stuff this way and do this, this and this and that and that. To let all that go. It's a very empowering thing, but it's also a very scary thing as well, because it is literally jumping into that void. But it's obviously it's obviously the way forward, because that's what's happening. That's what's happened. And things tend to, everything that exists is meant to exist. So if it's happening, it's giving you that opportunity to move forward. It's giving you that opportunity to do things in a different way, and especially like you've said, that you're actually getting more of an opportunity to do the things you really wanted to do, and rather than the things that you were doing, then that even makes even more sense. That
makes my heart sing more, because what I was doing was I was trying to keep that income part coming in, and so I was trying to make the people to come and do the classes and trying to keep everybody happy with that. And it wasn't making me happy, because all I was like the person that did the prep and did the cleaning, and I was just always out there cleaning up after people. And then for a while, like right before it happened, I felt like I was just the person, like these people would drop their kids off. They were just dropping their kids off so that they could have time away from them. I think I was like their babysitter for an hour, and their kids weren't interested in what was going on. They didn't really want to be there. And I felt like I was like the babysitter, and I was just like, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want to be someone's babysitter. And so that's how, because like the kids wouldn't even, at like the last month, the kids that were coming, they wouldn't even want to do the projects that I had. They wanted to run around and jump under the tables and do all kinds of stuff under the table. They didn't want to do the art. I was just like getting really like frustrated. So I think that it was the best thing that ever happened, looking back, like hindsight, because I wouldn't have stopped doing those things. And I wouldn't have delved in. And I have gone so deep with what's coming through. Like, I'm so connected to my guides and to everything now. I don't think I could go back that way. I don't think I could go back doing things that way anymore. I'm not interested in sitting around talking about the weather anymore to people. That's not what I want to do anymore. I want to do things that bring in light, that raise our vibration. And I'm constantly always trying to like bring in more light for myself. And that's just what I'm working on. I'm working on our the group that we have, that the New Earth Ascending Consciousness. We call it New Earth AC because it's easier, because there's too much like words or whatever. And we changed it. It was called the New Earth Ascending Consciousness, and now we've changed it to New Earth AC, just to make life easy. And every now and then we'll say like what it means, kind of thing. And we've just been really working on building that up and getting the tools out there to people. And we've been doing a lot of the unity circles or astral travel. I went to a stone circle here in on the summer solstice, and I just happened to be going to a stone circle. Just happened, and I went to like this meditation thing, and then afterwards I did a unity circle inside the circle with my two co-hosts, and David Starr and Bonnie Bird. And we traveled through the stones, and we were very surprised about what we saw. We ended up in an Andromedan galaxy and found out that exact stone circle that I was at, the original purpose was it's a portal between Andromeda and
There's
there was another.
a lot of stargates, a lot of stargates
Yeah,
all over
and
that.
so we did some work there where we helped them bring it online again for its true purpose, not like what it has been turned into. And so that was fun. We did that, and then my co-host, they went to Shasta, and David he did a unity circle up at Shasta, and we're getting ready. Bonnie went to Shasta afterwards, and I think next Wednesday, we're going to be doing a journey into Telos. So we're having a lot of fun kind of doing that kind of work.
Good. That's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, the whole thing for any, you know, again, it's something we mentioned this morning. It's like, you know, the whole thing about every show, Sifu. Why am I called Sifu? Sifu is guided muse. I'm not a master. Don't like the word master. Don't like the word guru. And they weren't originally that way, but they've been used to, like, you know, I'm at the top. I know everything. You have to do what I say, and that's, you know, the energy that's been implanted in them. Where's like, though some people think Sifu means master, and it's like, no, Sifu's guide, muse. It's more like a parent, but, you know, a loving parent, and it's about pointing you along that way. And it's that whole thing of all of us are Sifus, but all of us are here as guides for everybody else. But it's about guiding people to their own, find their own path, find their own way,
empowering them. That's what's happening with my private sessions. I seem to be this bridge between worlds. I seem to have like bridge between worlds and bridge between. What I do is I connect people. I bridge them to their healing chambers, and we go in, and a healing happens usually every single time in my private sessions. And I will always I channel a message to them. But before we leave the healing chamber, every single time, they tell the person that you can connect here. This is you have a direct connection to your healing chamber. You don't need to go through me every time you want to do this. And usually they also give them a direct connection, and tell them that now things will be opening up. And then after I get done with their session, I do crystal gazing for them. And so before their session happens, I go down to the river with my crystals and I take pictures of the crystals inside the water. And then I do them with the intention it's for that person, whoever it is that I'm doing for a session. And so then I go through the photos and I look through them, and usually the stuff that comes up inside this crystal gazing usually has something to do with what I just channeled for them inside their healing chamber, and everything kind of like lines up whatever it is that that person needs. And then by the end of the session, I'm finding that I'm only there to just kind of open and bridge, and not there to like that everybody's able to do this. Everybody's able to connect to their higher selves, to their team. And it's just kind of an opening just to show them what it's like. And then another thing that they've been doing is they've been talking to me. I say my guides. The newest thing now, I think they have me doing this coaching thing. I never thought I would ever be anybody's spiritual coach, right? And I have 3 guinea pigs. They're my best friend in Florida, and then I have 2 girls that live around Ireland here, and they're my guinea pigs because they're like just kind of like on the threshold of just starting to awaken, and they're inquisitive, and they're trying to learn how to connect to their guides and to figure out their purpose. They're like, what is their purpose and everything. They're all kind of at that stage. And so I think like going forward, I'm going to be coaching people that are newly awakened.
That's good. That's cool. And yeah, you know that I think as stuff opens up, you know, let's say the Tao means the way, the path, the balance, and a true like Taoist has many different skills. Again, it's the West that thinks, oh, you only must like master one or two skills. You can only have one or two things under your belt. But true Taoist has many, and or you get in the UK and especially there's the saying of the jack of all trades, the master of none. But the original idea was it was actually the jack or the you know the teacher of many, and he's the master of one. Is that the lots of, and as a Taoist, is that all those different skills actually come together. And in the samurai as well, the samurai believe that everything you learn enhances everything else you do. So the whole idea of doing lots of different skills actually ultimately gathers up the information, gives you a far better set of information. So learning different things and doing things in different ways is actually, at least in my
like
teaching.
I was totally against. I didn't want to do the Reiki, right? I was totally like, my body was fighting it. And Bonnie, my co-host, she's the Reiki master and teacher, and she just kept at me all last year about Reiki, right? And I was just like, oh God. I said, do I really have to do it? And then finally at the end, she said to me, she goes, I'm not going to bother you with this anymore. She's like, either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. Because like I started taking the classes, and at the first day of the class, I was like her hardest student that she ever had, because she said that it was like talking to a person that you were looking at a wall, because I was just kind of like that my defense was up. I was like, no, I didn't want to do it, right? And when it came to my first attunement, and it was like 2 weeks before this, she said, I'm not going to bother you about this anymore. If you want to do it, come to me. If you don't, we just won't talk about it anymore, right? Because I was really fighting it. And we do this thing, it's called play. We call it play, where we she's a hypnotherapist and everything. We kind of like go in and go into our Akashic records, and we do this play. Well, we were doing this like mystery school thing that we do together, and Merlin is always usually involved when we go into mystery school. And there was this one day, she was like, Merlin's here. He's flipping his coin. And he was like, because Merlin flips his coin at us when it's time to go do something. And I'm like, oh, are we meant to go do a play? And she's like, yeah, we'll go do a play. So we get all ready. We get the Zoom room ready and everything. And because we always do these in the Zoom. And we get all ready. And her and I, she does a grid before we go do our plays. We do a grid. We pull cards. We see like, what is this play going to be about or whatever. And so she does her grid, and I'm getting my grid and my candles lit and everything. And Merlin calls it shenanigans, what we do, because like we do all these shenanigans before we go into this play. And so I'm reading my cards, and I start reading the card, and I'm telling her, it's like my new deck of cards I got, and I'm like, this is what this is going to be about today. And I'm sitting there talking about my attunement, and didn't know that I was going to have my Reiki 1 attunement that day during our play. Like that's how it happened. And she looks up at me, and she's drinking her coffee, right? She's sitting there on the other side of the screen while I'm explaining to her like what this is going to be about today, right? and she's like, you should have seen the look on her face. She was just like trying not to talk, and then she goes, and then she goes, I'm just not going to tell you what I think this is going to be about. I'm just not going to tell you, because you'll just get mad at me. And I'm like, what? Tell me, Bonnie, what is it that you're getting? She goes, well, I'm getting that this is your Reiki, this is your attunement for Reiki 1. And I'm going, well, Chicali, like freaking Merlin, what does he do? Merlin does this to me every time. Like he tricks me into getting like what I need, what I need. And so we went into the attunement, and it was absolutely magical. She said she never saw an attunement like this. She never did one like this ever before. And I had made this like Merkaba crystal grid, that it's like a clay one, and it looks like a chessboard or whatever, but it's like a big huge Metatron's cube kind of thing. And that was there, and it was in life size, and we started going onto the thing. It was for my attunement. I was going into the middle one, but there was all of my guides. Everybody showed up, and I saw them walking across. There was the tree people from the forest, and everybody was there for this attunement. And then, do you remember the Muppet show?
Yeah.
The Muppets that used to be on, and they had these guys up in the these Muppets that were up in the balcony, and they would be kind of like commentating the whole thing. Do you remember them?
I can't remember their names, but yeah, I remember.
They would be kind of like up in the box, like way up on the top, watching the Muppet Show or whatever, and they would be kind of like characters or whatever. Well, my parents, who had just passed away, showed up, and they were like, "You didn't think we were going to miss this? We come to all of your art shows. We've come to all of the things that you've done throughout your life. What we were going to miss, we weren't going to miss this." And they wanted front row seats. So everybody was there, and it was so cool. And then after that, I was like, okay, so I guess I was meant to do that. I don't know why I thought it. There's something, I don't know, I'm weird, I guess. Do some people fight getting the certification?
Yeah. It's the way it is for some people, is that, they're not, I mean, the healing part for me, I've been doing so, it's called martial arts, but it's martial arts, it's healing arts, it's spiritual arts, the Taoist arts are all free. And I've been doing them ever since I was 12, but I didn't, at 30, I still didn't really. I did healing one, but I wasn't going to do it full time. It was just something I did. But it was more, it was more pushed definitely later on, and the things you sort of, just oh no, I'm not interested in that, or I'm not going to do that, or oh that's just a passing thing, could end up being one of the most important things. And the fact that you resisted, the fact that you resisted it, that you kept putting it off, means it was already in your field. Because
I kept saying to her, am I not good enough the way I am? I kept saying, aren't I not good enough the way I am? Do I not have it already inside of me, what I need? And she kept saying, and then I even one morning in the middle of the night, I woke up and said, no one can turn on a key or a code that isn't already lying dormant within you. That's what I got.
This is the thing, when somebody says, I already good enough, it's like, but how do you know it's not already there? It's already part of you, and the whole thing of is that there's a word which sounds like poo, as in Winnie the Pooh, but poo in Chinese means uncarved block. And you hear a lot of artists have talked about that thing of, how did you create this beautiful structure? And they say, like from that lump of marble. And says, well, all I did was chip away what was already there. And that's what they, in the energy world or the art world, the teaching world, that's what they believe, is that, those skills are already there. And it's about actually just giving you a way to channel them better. So it's not actually, and because people will say, this is, you're given this, and it's like, well, no, is that, especially if you find yourself have a natural talent on something, the ancient ones would say you already had that skill, and we're just reminding you of that skill. And that's why if you pick something up really quickly, or something comes to you really quickly, it's not a case of learning it, it's that it was already there. And that's what the ancient ones talk about, is that all information is already there, that you're not learning, you're just remembering.
Yeah, and that's what I think one of the things that I was resisting was the fact that everything I had done go from before this, it was like it came in from me, and it came in from my higher self. And I never had a teacher out that was human outside of this. Like for any of the things that I do, like all of my art, everything has come through by my connection. And I was fighting, and I was like, why do I need you to teach me this? Why do I need, why do I not already have this? And I was really going mental. I was her hardest student, she said, that she ever had. And we're still squabbling. Well, not really squabbling, but I'm still kind of fighting and resisting the master. Like, I got Reiki 1 and 2 done. And I keep telling her, oh, well, we'll hold off. we'll hold off for the rest of it later. It's good. I'm good to go right now. And we'll visit that at another time. I keep telling her. And she hasn't brought it back up again. So.
Yeah, and well, the other thing is like it is as an interesting. Not everybody knows that, but there is actually the Western Reiki was taught one way, and the Eastern Reiki it's actually a totally different way. The Eastern Reiki, the Reiki that was actually taught by Usui, actually has the stuff I do, Qigong, in it. It doesn't actually have symbols. It has kotodama. Kotodama means sacred tone, and the tones are the frequency. So it's more like music, or you're getting the feeling of something. So yeah, there's a whole there's a whole different one there that one day you may or may not want to explore.
May or may not. And the other thing that I was resisting was the light language. I was saying, no, guys, my light language is in my art. And I say, it's never going to happen for me. It's never going to happen. And I was helping a friend of mine yesterday, and she does light language. Right. And we got to talking about it. And I said to her, I go, Bonnie seems to think that I'm going to be doing this magical light language, and it's going to just come right out of me and all this. And she keeps saying it. And she goes, well, maybe it will and maybe it won't, she says. And she goes, but just so you know, I'm being told the same thing about you. And I'm going, okay, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I just kind of left it at that, like, I don't think that's ever going to happen or ever anything. Just let it go. Today I go into the swimming pool, not thinking about it at all whatsoever. And I'm swimming away, and there's nobody in the swimming pool. I was there by myself. It's like the first time I've had the pool to myself in a long time. And I was doing my aqua aerobics, and I was just ending it. And all of a sudden I was going, una cha cha. I was like, what's going on here? And it was going on. And I was like, oh my God. And I got out of the swimming pool. I went over to the phone, and I instantly said, Bonnie, this is what's coming through. And then I started going, una kacha, lana kacha, tutu, and all this stuff was going through. And I was like, oh my God, what was that? And I go into the shower, and I'm going, what was that? What was that? And they were like, that's the water dragon. And the funny thing is the last time, I think before I was on the last show with you, was I telling you about the water dragon? I was swimming, and I turned into a water dragon when I was swimming. And I could see my hands and everything. And that hadn't happened since it was like, I don't know, the last time I talked to you, right? And all of a sudden now today I'm talking to Sifu Bagi again, and now I'm doing una cantalata. What's going on?
Well, the dragon comes out, and again, light language or light code is another Reiki. The light language, well, when people say so in the Taoist and the Eastern philosophy, it would have been called something like light code, because artwork, music, sound, movement, that's all like light language or light code. But it's a frequency. It is like the symbol, the symbols like in Reiki or the symbols like the ancient symbols that we see are 2D representations of multi-dimensional frequencies that that have shape and form, but they're not static. They move and they change, and that's what most people don't realize. So the one people who do like code, and it's obviously it's words and it moves, it's actually a nearer representation of that frequency, of that shifting pattern that moves and changes. So yeah, so and like I say, well, whichever beings it comes from, it's all like it's Reiki symbols. It's all frequency.
Well, when we get done today, she wants to get together and see if she can have a conversation with this water dragon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you can. You can. This was the whole thing. Well, like let's say, ancient shamans, the Dragon Door shamans, the American Indians, their chanting was light language. That was the whole point. And they were doing, there was a form of light language. But yeah, you can. The light language can one merges with the other, or can be, can translate with each other. My partner Alex can actually hear what the words a lot of the time. Hear the actual words, can actually translate it. Translate some of that information, because there is, it a lot of the time, it affects you through emotion. It's language through emotion. We call it language, but I call it code, because the code affects the body. It affects things around you. It affects their frequency. But yeah, there is information in there, so it is a form of language. So yes, there are words to hear, or there are feelings that to be portrayed. But it's far more than that, or at least how I was taught. So, but it's all good.
Yeah.
All good.
Bonnie always says, she says whenever she does it, because hers started kind of this year. Well, it was happening to her kind of in the closet for a while, and then she started doing it in public. And I was the first one that she actually came to, going, "What is this?" that was coming through. But she says she can't explain it, but it feels like love. It feels like love, so she knows that it's okay, even though she can't always understand everything that's coming through. It feels good, and it feels like love.
Indeed. Very, very much so. Very much so indeed. Okay, well, we'll start to wrap it up. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about or mention before we close down? And or once you've done that, or how can we find you in the future? So, how can my listeners find you in the future? But anything you want to finish off with first?
I don't know as if I really have anything more other than just to tell people where they can find me. There's a few places that you can find me. You can find me at my website. It's called www.calmartstudio.com. And you can find me. I'm the host and creator of the Shine Your Light Network, and that's on my YouTube channel. So it's Shine Your Light Network on YouTube, which is right in front of my name. It says that. My community work that I do is everything is up on the Divine Ray app. So go over and visit Divine Ray because you will like it. At the moment, it's just new. And so there isn't a whole lot happening, but eventually, as soon as more and more people start using it, There's an energy signature inside of there that is nothing but high vibration. And so you can come in there, and you can also find me on the New Earth AC YouTube channel. And we have a Facebook group called New Earth AC, and it's community, or it's basically a community to help each other raise our vibration and help each other ascend to whatever level we can ascend to in this lifetime. And so we do a lot of things there. So come on over and be part of that. And just go over to those YouTube channels and subscribe. And I don't have very many subscribers on the Shine Your Light as we do on the New Earth. I think it's just because it's more of a community page. So I have a generic. I'm trying to grow it generically. I want the people that actually come there to be people that actually really like it. I don't want robots or anything like that coming into my page. So I'm happy with my 200 followers.
Yeah, 200 real people, which is good. Awesome, cool. Okay, well, thank you so much, Robin. It's been an awesome show. And everybody on my stuff, if you're interested, or if you're listening to this, you could be listening to this on Spotify. You can find me on The Way of Conscious Mindfulness, or Sifu, SIFU, Boggy, BOGGIE on Spotify. You can also find me on the YouTube channel under Sifu Boggy. You can find me on Instagram on sifu.boggy, and you find me on Facebook under either The Way of Sifu Boggy or The Way of Conscious Mindfulness. So let me just stay there for a second, but everybody else in the video world and audio world, I hope you've enjoyed this show. Take care. Bye for now. Love, Chi, and Shen. And remember, open your mind to the way, the conscious way, the way of conscious mindfulness.